Looking for simple ideas to manage your life and business? You're in the right place. Here you'll find realistic tips and ideas to tame your task list in easy ways. I'm your host, Amy Michaels. Let's get started together with today's episode of the Tame Your Task List podcast. Hi, friend. Today we're going to talk about some ways that we can actually declutter our task list, as well as make sure that we have things on our task list that are really important for us to do because they are worth our time and energy, which is so precious. Now, before I begin, I want to make sure that you have registered for the free Tame Your Task List workshop because it has my exact system that will help you to very quickly code your task list and declutter it very quickly. However, I'm going to take a little piece of that just to share a little bit more about that today, but you can have the full access if you want to register. That information is below. If you are like most of us, our task list can become cluttered because what we do is we have an idea that we see on an email newsletter or on Pinterest or a friend tells us and we write it down on our task list because we don't want to forget it. And then we watch our task list grow and grow. And we get overwhelmed. It's completely normal. However, in a previous podcast, I talked about how to highlight your essential task so that you have both opposite ends of the extreme. The things that we're not 100% sure if we want to do, we put them on the perhaps list. The things that we absolutely have to get done go at the very top. They're highlighted. I go over that. But what about the stuff in the middle? How do we balance the other task? Because there are things on there that we need to do, and maybe we need a little bit of motivation to get them done, or maybe there are things that we really want to do and we just can't seem to find the time. I'm sure you are not alone if you feel this way. I have felt this way. My friends have felt this way. There aren't enough hours in the day to do all the things that we really would like to do. So with today's episode, at the end, you always have an accountability action step. And I'm going to ask you to set a timer for 5 minutes to take action on this specific little mini challenge, if you will, about what we do about the stuff in the middle, the things that we need to do or the things that we want to do. I think it's going to be really fun and I can hardly wait to tell you about it. But before I do, I wanted to share that I am a fan of Dawn over at The Minimal Mom. She's a YouTuber. Dawn makes some wonderful tips about the priorities of our physical material possessions. And she does get into how it does affect our time and our attention. Dawn considers herself to be a minimalist. And while I don't consider myself to be a minimalist, I am very intentional and aware of what gets my time and attention. Which brings me back to the things that we think we need to do and the things that we wrote down on our task list that we want to do. When things fall in this gray area, it's a great time to ask ourselves which of these tasks really deserve my time and attention. Is there anything on the list that you can delegate or trade responsibilities with someone? Or if it's something that you say you want to do, if you really want to do it, how can we find some protected time for you to honor something that you really want to do? Maybe you want to add new recipes to your meal plan. What will it take for that to happen? What tasks do you need to complete? Do you need to grab a few ideas off of Pinterest? Do you need to buy some new ingredients the next time you go to the grocery store? Do you need to cheerlead your family to help you so it's a family event that you guys can do together to make some memories and explore tasting new recipes or new foods? Ultimately, you get to choose of those items that are on your task list what is worthy of your time and attention. And when you ask yourself that question, you may decide to move several of them over to the perhaps list, or you may decide to give yourself full permission to just let it go and not do the task at all. Either way, whether you decide it is worthy of your time and attention or you decide to just delete it altogether, it's a really great way to quickly declutter your task list. Because while things are going to keep being added to our plate, we also are kind of the gatekeeper of what we're really committing to. And just because you're not going to take on that task right now doesn't mean it's not something that you can take on at a later date when you're ready. And now it's time for our accountability action step. Today's is a little bit different because I am giving you a challenge. And challenges are really fun to do with a friend. So grab a buddy and invite them to join you for some added accountability. Okay, so here's the challenge. I challenge you to look over your task list items and choose one thing that is really important to you to do, and you're going to protect time and energy to make sure that you set aside time to start working on that task. And step 2 is going to be to look over your task list and choose at least one task list item that you give yourself permission to erase, to delete, to strike a line through and say, I'm not doing this because it's not worth my time and attention. Now, if you complete this challenge, do let us know in the comments below. We would be so thrilled to celebrate with you and offer you a little bit more encouragement and hopefully a smile. And if you feel comfortable letting us know either what task you decided was worth your time and energy and needed to become a priority on your schedule, or what task you decided you were giving yourself permission to delete or cross out, we would love to know that as well, because you're not alone. I guarantee you that there are other women that are struggling with the same thing or a very similar situation, and seeing how you are taking action, you're going to be a role model to them as well. So we would all love to celebrate and encourage each other together. So please do share if you feel comfortable. Now that's all for today's episode, but I can hardly wait for us to talk again next time. So be sure and click that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up or a like, depending on where you're listening. And I'm looking forward to talking with you again soon. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Tame Your Task List podcast. We'd love to encourage you even more to focus your time and energy on what matters most to you in life and business. Connect with us over at tameyourtasklist.com for insights we only share with our email subscribers. We'll see you there.